Okay, well, chat, this is the awkward moment where I have to tell Hardy what happened. So, Hardy, I missed game number 1 on the recording, which usually means I think that one won't be 4K on YouTube. Sad. Sorry, YouTube. Oh, wow, they might end up pretty close together here. Welcome, folks. We got the start of another round of 32 set. And we've got the closest one in the round of 32, at least based on seeds. We got Nikov in the red. Just talking about it. Long time pro. Super talented player. Best player in Argentina for as long as I've known him. And just super aggressive. Super well-rounded. He's playing as the Lithuanians. And then we have Margougou. Not too far away, by the way. Playing as the Bengalis here on Grapple. Now, Margougou had a pretty solid 2024. Played in a lot of different tournaments. Maybe didn't have any super deep runs in some tournaments that come to mind for you. But is sneakily into that top 20 in terms of tournament results. So he ended up seed 17. He obviously has made it here, and he's looking to prove that he can beat a top 16 player. He can get into that top 16 himself, maybe. Now, I want to go back. It's going to seem a little bit weird, but I need to show this to you. So, the very start, right? So, typically what happens is a player will go to the closest area of land. So if you're in the north of your island, you go north. If you're in the south of your island, you go south. Look where Margougou goes. Margougou says, screw that. I'm going to the side. Now, see, I don't know if Margougou thought about this and predicted that Nikov would go that direction and wants to be close to him. But as we catch up to live time, this is not like a map issue. This is a Margougou not going to the south issue. Typically speaking, you would go to opposite sides. So I don't know. I feel like in many ways that might actually favor Nikov's civilization. Nice job from Margougou. He did use the transport ship to collect some of the sheep around the map. Nikov actually using the sheep that he found with his transport ship to scout. So I don't think Nikov will know that Margougou is there. Margougou knows because Margougou just went past with the transport ship. Margougou is also going to transport his Vil out here to dock, so he kind of hides that. We'll see what Nikov ends up finding with his transport ship. This is actually really interesting. Because Nikov's he will probably find the dock eventually, but he is not going to expect Margougou to be here, and he won't actually see it either. Also, Margougou's TC was delayed because of where he built that. I think there's a lot of reasons to think that what Margougou did at the start here is bad. But if he has the information, it could be good. Nikov sees the dock. So, okay, that's standard, but he's not expecting this. Now, a lot of times with Lithuanians, we've seen people go fast feudal. And they'll go for fire galleys to contest on water. Let's see if Nikov loses the sheep. Sheep lost. That's crazy. This is fun. So now Nikov should know. But he almost won't believe it. He's like, what? Why would he be there? It makes no sense. But the only way you're going to lose the sheep is if there's a Vil there. And there's no reason for there to be Vils there unless it's a TC. So Nikov should know. My assessment, though, is because the Lithuanians have the better start, this is actually kind of bringing the fight to the Lithuanians. So when I think Bengalis, I think going eco approach and long term. And look, like now Margougou's looking for a boar, but there's no boar here because they're like neighbors, and Nikov already took the boar. So that's just is so weird. I did see one other instance where someone didn't immediately go to the closest area of land and they kind of weaved over to another direction. And the same thing happened and the person got completely stomped. It was Gabby against ACCM is when we saw that. ACCM had the better start. ACCM also had the civ that would want to fight maybe in feudal. Got up the feudal age a little bit faster, and then just kind of surrounded her and Margougou. He's not able to click up, guys. Like, without that second boar, he's in a really rough spot. I do feel for him, because he's probably like, are you kidding me? Like, where's my boars? This map sucks, blah, 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 blah. But there would be a boar if he was anywhere else. It just so happens that Nikov took the boar between them. Also, this wood line probably looked really good to TC, but it does kind of block pathing this way too. So Nikov's up. Really good start here for Nikov. Margougou is nowhere close to clicking up. This could be a really fast first game. Seems like Nikov is going to drop the second dock. Likely to kill these 4 fishing ships from Margougou. And Margougou dropped the mill on the shorefish. I think Margougou's plan, he's going to change it now. And he's not going to go Feudal Age early. I think he's going to try a fast castle. Which is the correct call. I'm trying to rush Feudal Age to win water now. I feel a little bit excessive. He's going to even add another fishing ship just to get as much food as possible. And then we'll see how things go from there. You could tell he's maybe expecting some pressure. So he is going to wall the back area, protect some of the additional shorefish. Kind of unfortunate there's only 2 shorefish there. That does happen sometimes. But if you can get the walls down in this back corner, get the walls along the front, should be pretty safe. Well done from Margougou. I really think the start's been awkward. The reasons we explained, but I think this is good. Yeah, guys, I'll switch the scoreboard. Sorry. Even Capture Age thinks that Margougou should not have gone where he went. Because Capture Age bases the scoreboard side based on where the players start. I think Capture Age was expecting Margougou to be down here or something. But yeah. So what's it going to be from Nikov? Let's see. 2 docks. He'll go 2 galleys to kill the fish. He's built an outpost on the front. He's even building a tower here. I'm not in love with this tower. Because by the time it goes up, Margougou can just pull off of the shorefish and take the other shorefish in the back. So I think for Margougou, he's going to be like, all right, that tower doesn't do anything. So big question is, will Margougou have the food to click up, though? Again, 1 more boar. And this fast castle is just really nice. Without the boar, though, I'm not so certain. He needs to drop off his fish. Try and save what food is in the fishing ships if he can. This is good, because then the other 2 fishing ships can still work. And then Nika, by now, should know that Margougou is going fast castle. And he could maybe add a few more fishing ships here if he wishes to. And he'll work on taking out the docks. The tower goes up for a nice little bit of control. I like the vision that Nikov's going to have along the front for long term. And Margougou gets the extra villas as Bengalis. He's going to go for a market. He'll probably drop a blacksmith. And he might feel like he needs to sell his stone here. He's sending a few more to gold just so he could buy some food, I think. I think Margougou can click up. It's not the best fast castle ever, but he's going to be way faster than Nikov. And then you also get the extra vills. He's already 2 vills up because of Bengalis. And then he'll be up an additional 2 vills when he goes up. So fast castle with Bengalis, I think, is always the best play for that reason. And Margougou clicks up. So you have no stone to drop a TC, but he's actually going heavy on stone. Which makes me think he might want to go for a castle drop. Yep, there he goes. Okay. Nikov, careful, my friend. Nikov sees the TC, sees the market. Only in 4 fishing ships, so it's kind of crazy. He did bring in another boar, and he's got 2 mills on the shorefish. Outposts from Nikov could be super helpful here to know what Margougou's doing. So still doesn't really know. He sees the walls. But Margougou's economy is... it's not great. This is like, you know, if someone, let me try and think of an example. I can't think of a good example. I was trying to think of a real life example, and then I was quickly reminded that I don't have a real life. So, this is my life, so we'll just stick to Age of Empires. Villager's weak. Margougou wants to kill that Vill. But is it worth it, Margougou, if there's galleys there? Nope, doesn't look like it. And Margougou is definitely dropping a castle here. So he's going to try and go Ratha. And he'll probably drop the castle right in the front of his TC here. Such a rough position for Margougou, though. He needs to get some pressure in, or he needs a really big boom. And it seems like pressure is the way. Still dropping off the stone, still hoping for the stone. Buys the stone, boom, castle. All right, so things get interesting here, don't they? Because this castle will go up. And Nikov is possibly going to panic. If there was one thing that I could say with Nikov, is he definitely can panic at times. The tourney nerves can get to him, and it becomes very clear when you're watching. He did try and wall here, but you can't wall everything. So the units could still run around, plus the castle will take down the wall. And suddenly, for a while there, it was good for Nikov that they were close. Now it could be awkward for Nikov. So I think what he's going to try, as we have nice recoveries from Margougou, by the way, onto the shorefish. It continues to get a little unlucky with the amounts of them, but still. Yeah, Nikov, I think, is going to play towards monks here, if I had to guess. He's just kind of playing wall builders right now to keep the Rathas out. And he may actually wall completely in front of his TC. Which might look ridiculous, but how many times do we see someone run right underneath someone's TC? You see it pretty frequently. Alright, first Ratha is out. Is going to go through in a second. Once the palisade's down, Nikov is up. Nikov's first decision, second TC. More res collected for Nikov. Does wall in front of the TC. Now, there's a hole up here. Now, Nikov would be able to see the units go that way, but there is a hole, and the Ratha are going to find it. Oh, Nikov. Oh, dude, I'd be so annoyed. Look, now he's got to go gate, wall. He's like, you got to be kidding me. I thought I walled it all. The Rathas have ranged mode, but also the melee mode. Nikov is going to complete the TC. Actually, perfect time, because you could shoot the Ratha. He's going to settle his mind. I think if Margougou stops investing into Ratha now and just micros with these, the threat of the all-in is there, and if he just focuses on a little bit of eco... Also, where's that random Nikov villager coming from? Keep an eye on that. Margougou might want to wall it in, actually. Yeah, Margougou walls it in, says you stay there. But yeah, this is good. This is... Nikov has to react a lot here. Nikov also can't take anything in the north. Nikov is not going to have an easy game with this much pressure. It's the first game in a high-stress environment. This is a lot of idle time force from just a couple Ratha. And Margougou will bring in a boar, get some food that way. Brings the Ratha over to kill that Vil. And Nikov is going to have some monks, sorry. And he'll probably start to convert these. But you see the investment from Nikov? Nikov can't comfortably go to a third town center. Nikov can't comfortably move out at all. This is not easy for him. Vil will go down. Margougou tells Nikov, stay humble. Kairos, to see the message, by the way, Kairos, who's just like showered the chat with subs today, said you really helped me out through some really rough times. And happy to be here, man. Thank you so much for that. I mean, I've said this before to my chat many times over the last 10 years. It goes both ways. Me being able to do this, me being able to, you know, put my energy and creativity into something that a lot of people appreciate also has helped me through a lot of rough times too. So thank you so much. That was also totally, no matter how tough the times were, it was totally unnecessary. It was excessive. It was awesome. Thank you. Not saying I don't appreciate it, but it wasn't, you didn't need to do that. But hopefully chat enjoys the emotes. Oh my god, there's a hole and Margougou's gonna run through! This is so good for Margougou. Imagine the tilt, guys. You had it walled out. You were good. You opened the wall, I think, to get a relic or something. I'm not even entirely sure. But now the idle time. The messiness is just so crazy for this economy. And sure, you might eventually convert these. Sure, you might eventually deal with this. But back to my point, if Margougou just has time to cook, if he can just go for a bunch of TCs back here, Margougou will absolutely overtake Nikov's economy. Now, this is funny. We have a gate. Well, maybe this is good for Nikov. More Wrath are on the way. Margougou did it once. He figures, why not try again? But Nikov was ready. And this gate was some nice damage control there, as we see another TC from Nikov. Yeah, I mean, that's the thing about Lithuanians. You can just drop down TCs and you get extra food. So even if you don't necessarily have the perfect farm set up for booming, you could still accomplish a pretty good boom. He also has 8 fishing ships. They are about to finish with food. So that's kind of awkward. I think a lot of this comes down to what Margougou's eco looks like behind the pressure. The pressure will inevitably stop. Nikov still has 2 monks that can get conversions. Actually, 3. The Ratha are killing off those monks, but their friends have joined the ranks of the enemy. And Margougou's going to try and fall back here, and Nikov says no. And drops a house there. And drops right into the TC as well. Really well played to save the monk. It's still super messy and super scrappy, but this is so Nikov. This start is so tournament Nikov. And now we have a pause. Like crazy production, getting a lead with Vils, but not having any farms and like floating res. It's just the pressure, man. Again, I'm looking at Margougou's situation. Got a couple farms out there. I don't know about that one. Margougou can never make fun of my farms again. But, you know, I think they both have clearly been hyper-focused on the aggression moments and need to try and get that economy rolling. Margougou is actually going to come back with fires, so he can contest those fishing ships. And after a bit of a pause, we're back in business. Nikov just 1 relic. But he has done a nice job to keep these Ratha away from him. And he's just doing the right things. This is a boom map. This isn't typically a feudal age aggression map. It's eco. And just TCs everywhere from Nikov. You can justify it. I mean, if you get the extra 100 food every time you build a TC, and there's also stone and gold everywhere, in a messy game, just drop them down. We don't see it all the time, 6, 7, 8 TCs, but just do it, man. I remember a game, it was Dragonstar against... Guys, it was in TTL. I think it was a Graveyards game. Dragonstar was Lithuanians, and he lost a lot of ills, and then he just dropped like 6 TCs to get food eco because he didn't have food for a while. It was pretty wild. It was on the same part of the screen, just like TC, 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 TC. I forget who he played against. But it was definitely Dragonstar. I think it was Lithuanians Aztecs. If anyone really wants to look at Liquipedia, look that up. Feel free, but it's not really important. The point is, it happens. Sometimes, you gotta drop those TCs. Electron says this somehow feels like the most Nikov kind of game in a while. Not really actively watching anymore, so this might be biased. Well, the last couple times I've seen Nikov play 1v1s has actually been in the team game tournament that happened. And so Nikov would play 1v1s for Argentina, and then he would also carry his team in the team game portion. And he looked really smooth there. What Nikov did a good job of in those games, though, was get an early lead, and then he didn't... he stopped the opponent from hitting him in early castle. And what happened in this game is he got hit early castle, so things got a little crazy. But look at how well he's recovered it. Like, ever since Margougou hasn't been able to pressure him anymore, he's got food everywhere. He's got TCs everywhere. He's going to have multiple relics. I mean, Nikov is in a much better position here. And there is always the question with the Bengalis of what units are you making. But right now, Margougou is going to commit to Ratha. And it isn't a bad unit. But long-term, I think it could be a real problem against Lithuanian skirms. Nikov up to Imp, guys. Up to Imp. Crazy that he's done that. Like, again, literally just went from, holy crap, this is messy, to having fixed everything and clicking up. So well played from him. Margougou is still not pretty close to clicking. And Nikov's dropping a castle, which is just perfect for Trebs to take down that castle of Margougou. Okay, did Margougou want a game that was this aggressive early? Did he intentionally go over here with his TC, wanting to be close to Nikov? Or did he just not think about it, and he just accidentally ended up directly next to Nikov in the early game? I don't know. This would be something I'll find out later after the series. I will definitely ask Margougou. Because when you're a player, you might just... Like, that's not a detail players might think of. Is you want to go the direction of the island you spawn on, right? If you're very south, you go south. If you're very east, you go east. Same with the west and north, obviously. MX says Nikov fixed his economy like Argentina. But I can't speak to Argentina's current economy. So I can't say if that's an accurate statement or not. But I've had a lot of Argentinians tell me when watching Nikov skip eco upgrades over the years, we're from Argentina, we don't need economy. We're used to it. So, you know, again, we don't need to get into all that. But I know Argentinians who've said that many times to me, so the Ratha here will be chased down. And Margougou clicks up. But guys, Margougou is he's gonna lose his castle. And then what army does he make? He does have a lot of eco back here, but there's a lot that can go wrong for him right now. Nikov just outplaying Margougou since the start. Did get nerve-wracking for a bit, but Nikov's in a great position here. Also, it's not even, like, the best part about this for him is not just trebbing down this castle, but then he can make Latis from 2 castles. Like, the Trebor being lost for Lithuanians, won or lost, is a massive swing. Bengalis can kind of get by without making their Ratha, but ideally Margougou would have wanted this castle to make Trebs. Fire Galley still active in the middle. I would not consider that a big deal, though we could eventually see Cannon Galleons. And Margougou's dropping barracks. It's going to take some time, but he's probably going to try and go for Halb. Halb Ratha maybe, Halb Skirm. But his castle's going to go down. See, Halb are going to be needed, but Nikov could have so much with the latest. Nikov, 150 vills. Just booming up. Even dropping a castle down here. So this will be castle number 3, and he also has the stone for castle number 4. And he's still going to have more stone after that. That is not the imp TC from Margougou, so he will make it to imp. But he is in a really rough position here. Halb is not necessarily a bad play, but it feels like he needs something else. And I'm not sure he's really going to have the time for that. Nikov is late with some of his skirm upgrades, but skirms are still good against Ratha with Castle Age upgrades. They are Castle Age Ratha anyways. And so these chariots just get torn to bits. Yeah, dude. And this is like, when you're the favorite, this is the perfect start. You want game 1 to just remind the underdog who you are. You want the game to be like, yep, you don't belong here. Yep. Nope, I'm just better. The game, really how the game goes could speak volumes, honestly. If it's a super close game, I think underdogs could take they could take some positives from it, and then maybe favorites get a little bit worried that, like, oh no, am I losing to the goo, right? I can't lose to the goo. I can't lose to Mr. Humble. But I don't think Nikov had many of those thoughts here. First game, Margougou's going to play on. Obviously, still is a pretty high population, but again, a couple steps behind here. Now adding the ranges. Nikov, I think did he delete a bunch of vills, guys? I thought he had 160 vills. I think Nikov realized he overboomed a little bit and just deleted a bunch of vills to get more pop space. And good realization. Something you can realize when you've got all this control. Pushing across the map. 2K score lead. Like, the fact that Nikov is just now getting Bracer for his skirms and is still pushed this far tells you how big a lead he has. Like, he was very late with pretty critical upgrades here. Look at these castles. Castle here. Castle here. He's going to be on 8 castles. And Margougou's got nothing. I think Bengalis, they needed time. And Margougou's TC spot just wasn't really good to give him time. I'll go back to it. I mean, I wonder, because sometimes players will end the game and they'll be like, man, like, this map sucks, or I got super unlucky, right? But the way it's designed, okay, is you're always on opposite sides of the island. So if you start on the left, your opponent starts on the right and vice versa. You start in the south, your opponent starts at the top. So from Margougou's perspective, just to repeat it here, he goes here. Now, this might have been intentional. Maybe you could do this so you could take the early fights, but I just don't think that Bengalis want that. So I would say that he just wasn't really thinking in that moment. And maybe he didn't know that that's how it spawns. But had he gone south, I think he has a lot more time. He can get to Elephant Archers. He can get to the crazy late game of the Bengalis. But here it was like, he had to do a lot more early than he was expecting just because of the distance. And the game benefited Nikov. Definitely something to shake off there if you're Margougou. He's got some fun home maps planned, and it was a 2-1 KD for Nikov. Massive eco lead there for Nikov. And Nikov wins game number 1. Prepare for this to get rather interesting. So I should mention, because the Vils are walking towards each other, that there is a rule that you cannot Vil War on any map until TCs are up. Now, obviously, it is quite hard to know if your opponent's TC is up. But generally speaking, the TCs are going to be up at the same time. Now, look at this. Nikov. He's going to TC the food area of this pizza. And he's going to mule cart right on the other side. So he wants to open this up so he could have access to the gold long term and also have the food at the start. I like that. Margougou. He's got a TC here. So he could chop into what we consider to be the stone area, because there's more stone here, and then there is a little bit of gold. Margougou has gone with a mill for some food here. He's gone with a lumber camp for the wood here. So I guess Margougou's plan... think about this. Think about this. Think about this. Margougou will chop into here and chop into here. So Margougou will actually be connected to every section if these 2 villagers don't die. And then Nikov is going to be connected to the food. He's going to be connected to the gold in time. So, interesting. Now, Nikov is a mule cart civ. He's picked Armenians here. Mule carts can be used for mining. They can be used for chopping. They can be used for hunt. This is actually a sick pick. The fact that you could just wheel your mule carts around to any resource when you want, instead of having to spend an extra 100 wood on a mining camp or mill or something, is huge. And you can wheel it around, so you could, like, move to all the hunt that would otherwise be pretty inefficient for the others. Now, Khmer, you could, in theory, farm in the middle of nowhere. Their farms are just pretty efficient. You can also hop in and out of the houses. Yeah, Margougou, you could tell, wants to open this up and wants to open this up. Which strat is better, guys? Margougou will have the ability to be in 3 sections. Nikov will have the ability to be in 2. However, I think Nikov is going to have more free-flowing economy directly to the gold, which I think is key. Meaning that, like, if he needs more than 2 vills here, he can do it. Margougou's got to run a long way to get new vills over there. Yeah, I'll change the banners again at the top. Thanks for the reminder. Margougou's going to go for a barracks. Let's go. So this excites me because I've seen this before. We've seen... They're both doing it. Yo, let's go. Well, we're pretty far into the tournament now. I imagine every player has done some practice sessions or talked to others on what to do. And so Armenians can make Dark Age spears. Yo, bro, this is next level. Nikov's brain is so big that he struggles to walk properly. Sometimes he just kind of falls over because of the weight of his big brain. This is super smart. I don't know about the Armenian late game necessarily, but their start and their mid game should be really good. Now, Nikov hasn't made a spearman yet. And Margougou's here with the militia. Does Nikov see this? Nikov's getting loom. Margougou is here. Run away, Nikov. Margougou's chasing him. Margougou's chasing him. So, Nikov just got loom. And he will have a spear here to help. So, Margougou spent food and gold on that. And then Nikov just spends food and wood on the spears. It's the only civ that can make spears in Dark Age, by the way. No other civ can do this. And now I think Margougou's feeling like he can't do any damage here. Margougou is going to take the hunt. I wanted to see, does Nikov see this? He doesn't. And Nikov actually shot the deer because if the militia kill it, you can't eat it. Because it's dirty or something? I don't know. That's just how the game works. Militia are superior to spearmen, but it's like ever so slight. I think the spearmen have more HP, but one less attack or something. Yeah, and I don't even know. I guess armor, maybe the militia have. But the Vils just kind of even it out a little bit. The other thing that's really sick with Khmer is you can skip buildings, right? So you could, I know he made the barracks, but he could in theory have gone super fast archers. Look guys, Margougou is about to chop through here. And then he can bring these two villas over to this gold if he wants. Still hasn't chopped through here, has lots of food, and then they may need to focus on this food. Does Nikov know the TC position for Margougou is there at all? He doesn't. But most people have been TCing the food area, so I think from what he's seen, yeah, he's seen lumber camp, he sees militia here. There's actually more militia now from Margougou. I think that you know the TC has got to be over here. Yo, Dizzy, thank you for gifting Dusty Monk this up. Sorry, guys, I've been neglectful here. Glow Connor, Johnsy, Palpable Poop. Wow, what a name. Thank you, I guess. You know, what's also possible is Feudal Age Pikeman for Nikov. If he wants to upgrade these spears, like Margougou might upgrade these militia, you know, maybe you try it here. I think you need some gold for that. He doesn't have the gold for that yet. And Margougou is still making militia because he thinks these two villas are basically here unprotected, which they are. Fought before Man-at-Arms, which is maybe him trying to force it too quickly. But Margougou is going to get Man-at-Arms, and he's going to drop the archers. So the thing that Margougou doesn't know is that Nikov is right here. Nikov is going to go archers on this side. Maybe send the archer down here to the lumber camp. And Nikov needs to quickly wall up these vills because the Man-at-Arms are coming. I mean, best of luck to these two vills. I don't think their existence is going to be that great from here on out. But it'll be a real story to tell. You just have to try and keep them alive. And Margougou cut through. Margougou doesn't have archers yet. He's got a quick wall from the spears. And there's an archer here from Nikov. What a tough map to play. What a crazy, crazy map. Oh, the Man-at-Arms got in. And now there's more quick walls from Nikov. I mean, if you kill these two villas, it's really nice if you're Margougou. You don't have to worry about anyone being here threatening you at all. And then you cut in with your villagers eventually. Nikov is here with an archer killing some of the hunt. Nikov might try and pressure the food area. Margougou might want his skirms that are here to get there eventually. Really surprised we didn't see an archer from Margougou, but I think maybe the gold was low. And what a messy game. To be expected though, right? This is not a map I would have expected Nikov to want to play today. But I think he banned another map because he didn't expect Margougou to want to play it. I think it's a good pick as the underdog, this Piece of Pizza map. There's a lot of things that can happen. And it's a good start for Margougou. These 2 vills for Nikov will likely go down. It says Nikov killed 3 vills somewhere, though. Did these archers killed 3 villagers somewhere. I guess Margougou didn't notice that. Now he's going to notice. Nikov loses 2 vills. And now he kills his 4th. So I think, yeah, Margougou was just so focused on all of this that he didn't notice those archers hit him. I think he must not have... Yeah, chat's saying it was before Loom. There's no fletching on the archers, so I think the only explanation is that Loom wasn't in yet. Guys, look at the situation for Margougou right now. He's got all this army, but he can't actually save his food area yet. No, Margougou, be patient, be patient, be humble, be humble, be humble. This is a very panicked tower. Ah, man, he doesn't know what to do because he doesn't have space to breathe with these vills. That's huge. If you see that tower, you're loving life if you're Nikov because you're like, okay, you protect a couple farms, I get the rest of the map. Rest of the map also means gold, by the way. He did tower this because he knows that Margougou could, in theory, send the archers this direction at any point. Good couple moments here for Nikov. But I think Margougou is going to run this way. Oh, no. Margougou just deleted 2 houses to go through, and now he's super housed. He needs 2 houses. He was already housed. And then he deleted 2 houses. Oh, chat, type a 1 if you've been there. Where you delete a house and you probably figure, oh, I'm fine. And then you realize, oh, I actually needed that house. It's like, this is bad, right? He can't produce out of his range right now. And now he's housed again. So, he needs some damage. Let's see if he gets it. Man-at-Arms on the tower. Fletching on the way from Margougou. Nikov needs gold. Nikov has very little army right now. Very little army right now. And he's no gold income if he doesn't get this section. And Margougou is going to rush down this tower. The tower will slowly weaken Man-at-Arms, but that's still a lot of army. Nikov might need to bring his archers over wherever they are. And Margougou has now cut this open so he can send skirms in to defend. What are you supposed to do with no golds in Nikov's position? You can't do much. So he needs the gold. The archers get here, and feels like just in the nick of time there for Nikov. He'll kill it off. He can get more vills on the gold. He does have a stable witch. He's making a scout for now. I mean, this is wild. Like, Nikov doesn't have a farm yet. So it's not like Nikov's getting to Castle Age with his crazy position. Nikov also doesn't have a stone for a second TC. He'll probably drop a monastery to go for, just to get the free relic from the fortified church. But there's no relics in the middle either. So it's not like he can get a bunch of relics. Honestly, if Margougou just made like 5 scouts right now, he could still be way later to Castle Age and be fine. He's got great eco. But I say all that, and it does feel like momentum's everything. Nikov's in Castle Age before he even clicks, and Margougou might be left thinking, what on earth has happened to me? My start was perfect. Was it too much investment for Margougou, maybe? Into the push? With the Man-at-Arms? What? Nikov is monasterying his face? Nikov is building his fortified church, which does shoot arrows, I guess. Right in front of that TC from Margougou. And he's going to go for a siege push. So, Now, guys, if you put archers inside the fortified church, it doesn't fire extra arrows, right? Or does it? I feel like I should know that at this point. I don't actually. It doesn't fire a lot of arrows, that one relic, but it is something. Mangonel's a bigger problem. Okay, you can only put Vils and only put monks inside the church. Got it. Wow, Margougou is heavy on stone. When have we seen this before? And Nikov's going to have siege. He's going to have some scouts. Nikov does have really nice eco upgrades. It's especially nice to get those upgrades from the mule carts with the Armenians. And Nikov will know that Margougou is over here. Margougou just walled that. He doesn't want Nikov to be able to pass through. There's the stable for Margougou. I still think Lycav could be really good. If he could have 6 Lycav with armor, the siege could go down, the archers could go down, the Lycav could get through and raid. There's a lot of potential, but there's also a lot of time for Nikov to stabilize and mix in spears or something again. So Nikov's barracks. Did Margougou attack the barracks? And we missed it? There was definitely a barracks here. Unless... Yeah, he made spears, right? So Nikov doesn't actually have a barracks now. He must have YOLO'd with a bunch of Vils to take it out, which in hindsight might actually be pretty good. Probably cleared it on screen and I just was talking about a million different things. Okay, TC's about to go down. Nikov knows this. Look how quick Nikov is to realize that villagers can't be garrisoned here. Oh, God. Villagers in and out of the houses from Margougou. They're escaping. They're escaping. Stonewall. Whoop! Into the houses. Not bad. One villager left behind. Screw him, I guess. No one cared about him anyways. Still some farming eco. Lycav upgrades on the way. But, guys, Nikov, 2 TCs. Nikov has had the killer instinct. He's had the killer timings. He's had that edge that the best players typically have. And Margougou, I think, looks rattled. But you got to give credit to Nikov. Like, Nikov is putting his opponent in awkward positions every single game. Tower foundation is still there. That could be deleted here, Margougou. I don't think he realizes. All of Nikov's army could get cleared up by these 5 Lycav, though. Nikov will see it now. It gives him time to back away. This is why I thought barracks. I think that's what he would want. We might see him drop one now. But also at the same time, Nikov wants to continue to push and kill Margougou. Remember, Margougou, very little gold income, guys. Has these villagers on gold. But Nikov has the gold section. Yeah, he needs to get those Vils on stone, which he does. Nikov actually gating this. Wow, I don't know why I didn't think about that. But that's super smart. Because now the Lycav can't pass through. And it's such an obvious move. I really think that you only do this, though, if you play practice games on this. That everything that I've seen from Nikov, this isn't just like something he thought of. He clearly tested every aspect of this. Not to say that Margougou did not. I'm sure he did, but you could just tell. You don't have things this well timed if you did put in some time to get practice. And I spoke to a lot of players who are practicing for this. I think there's still some big names who probably aren't, because they can maybe get away with it, but that's really smart, man. Just gating this up. And oh God, Nikov. Oh jeez, dude, the gate's not even finished yet. And just as everything was looking great for Nikov, that was big throw. He just lost all his monks. If the Lycav get through, he could have problems. Like, Margougou, he already knows that he needs some damage fast. And Margougou is going to chop the tree. Let's go. He's through. Margougou. Wow, he noticed the tree was super low on wood. And so now he's through. Let's see. Does he get destroyed by an attack round, though? Oh, be careful, Margougou. Be careful, my friend. Nikov is waiting. TC here from Nikov. That's TC number 3. So it's 3 TCs versus 1. It's really not close economically. Oh! Margougou is also town centering here. So Nikov could just garrison and shoot that TC down. We might see a TC war in a second. Yeah, Margougou doesn't know that TC is there. Nikov will know. He could also siege push. A conversion happens from Nikov. Heavily focused on not losing this area right now. And a siege workshop from Nikov. So yeah, all Nikov's going to do, he does see this now, is he's going to drop 1 Mangonel from behind the woodline and siege that down. That's such a rough TC for Margougou. But he needs gold. He's pushed out of the gold area. His idea was to be able to freely pass through. But he lost food and he lost the gold. Now you get a little bit of gold here. And most of the stone. And then you have to chop the full way out to get access to whatever else is out there. Nicov still moving around. But that's a lot of knights. And Armenian knights. Let's just say that if you get an Armenian knight for Christmas, you're not the most excited. But it's still a knight. It still does the job for now. Hopefully next Christmas you'll get another Civ's Knight out of the stock, out of the box or whatever. You're like, thanks, Mom. You told Mom that you wanted a Frank Paladin, and she's like, well, I saw a horse, I saw a sword, I figured it's the same thing. It's like, well, it's not the same thing, Mom. It's not an iPod. It's a freaking MP3 player. This is like the worst MP3 player on the market. Sorry, bringing up old memories. But I appreciated the crap out of that MP3 player. I still remember one Christmas, I was upset I got an MP3 player because my friend got an iPod. My friend told me, and I cried about it. And I still am not over the fact that my mom saw me cry over that. Because if they could have got me an iPod, they would have. But I was too much of a spoiled kid. I was too much of a stupid kid to not realize that they were doing their best. I apologize to my mom about that every couple years. And she's like, I don't even remember that until you bring it up. I think we've all been there. I mean, we've just been watching these Nicov run around here from Margougou. He just lost this TC. He is super far behind in the boom. But maybe he can, he does kind of have the section walled. Maybe he can escape, and this could go late and get messy. But it feels like Nikov, an imp, can do anything, honestly. Sounds like she remembers and doesn't want to show the trauma. I think my mom would be honest if she remembers. But, she doesn't bother by it because she's just like, that's what kids do. Like, kids, you were a kid, she's not, offended by it. But as an adult, I'm, so pissed at my 10-year-old me. Because my best friend and my neighbor, they were just better off, So, they typically got all, if a new gaming system came out, they got it, and we didn't. If a new iPod came out or something, they got it, we didn't, and I would compare my situation a lot. But now I'm 31, and I'm just like, dude, your family did so much for you. I want to go back in time and yell at myself, I don't think Margougou knows that Nikov's up. Despite how good this has been for Nikov this game, I think he's still going to be surprised here. This is going to blow his mind. He's like, what? It's one thing to have this big a score lead and this big a boom lead. But to also be imp is crazy. And the GG's called. I mean, there wasn't a lot of army in this game, but it was a lot of positioning from Nikov. Nikov's siege and his army pushed Margougou out of the sections. And he just snowballed it from there. Just another boom game. I think Margougou has wanted these maps against Nikov because Nikov is so aggressive. And Nikov can do so well in the early aggressive moments. But Nikov's just kind of fine. You want to boom? I'll boom on Grapple. I'll boom on Piece of Pizza. And now he's up 2-0. And And Margougou needs to turn it around here. Needs to find some aggression early, I think. Kind of a tricky one, but I, in my thinking of this map, feel the best TC spots are in the gold region on this map. You need to have that gold. But best case scenario is you have the food and the gold. Nikov's TC and his mule cart was so freaking good. I think this is best possible. Because you don't need the gold in Dark Age. You need the food. So he gets the food. And then, it didn't take him too long. And he's already chopped through and can take the gold. So to freely be able to go back and forth here is great. And it's not like you need these double sections of stone. You only need that if you're castle dropping. There's still enough stone around here. So mule carts and also those TC and chopping positions was, I don't know, maybe that's meta. But if that becomes meta and everyone tries it, we might have a bunch of people TC next to each other. So that could be kind of awkward. There's the res collected for Nikov. Game number 3. Very close games. Or sorry, very close series in terms of seeds. But Nikov has definitely seemed a step up. My thing is, we have yet to see a game where Margougou is playing Margougou style, which is aggressive. I think he was a little bit scared of his opponent. Like maybe worried that Nikov could out-aggress him. And maybe that's true. But this is going to be a map where we get to see Margougou play to his strengths. Nikov proving the first 2 games he is simply the better boomer. You start with a fishing ship on this map, and then super cheap fishing ships with the Italians, so they should have a good start. And dock goes up, helps the Dravidian start as well. Both players with really nice TC locations, but the gold's not easily protected. And this can happen sometimes. You want your TC up as quickly as possible and on wood. How did I... Oh, wow. There's a hotkey for resources. Look at that. I just learned something new. I also forgot what I was talking about. Anyways, I think the point was gold is tough to lock down. Expect a mix of water and expect a mix of land. But if it's cool, I will open it up to questions for chat if anyone has any questions at least. We're just talking about how you look back on certain aspects of life and you're like, man, if only I would have not been an idiot, or if only I would have been better in that regard. That's just life, but I'm okay with shaking off any like stupid thing I did that embarrassed myself or anything. But when oh, Nikov almost lost a Vil. Hold on. Let me finish my thought in a second. Nikov needs to kill the rhino. Okay. The things that really bother me about my past is if I said anything that lacked perspective in regards to my parents. I think it's because I'm getting older. My parents are getting older. I don't live close to my family, so I like miss them and stuff. So if I was ever a brat, I just look back and I get annoyed with myself. What's going on with the Capture Age scoreboard today? I have to flip it every game. Nice work from Margougou to bring in Rhino number 2 here. Yeah, I probably need to hydrate a little bit more. Thanks for the reminder. The Rhino, boom, gets brought in. Yeah, I usually don't go home with family for Thanksgiving because I go home for Christmas. So, like, taking a flight, like, traveling that much so close together just isn't usually super realistic for me. So, I will be seeing my family on the holidays. This Christmas will be a bit more condensed, though, because I don't make it home until Christmas Eve because of the NAC event in Berlin. So, it'll be... I will miss out on some family time this time. And we'll have to make it up a little bit later on. Do the Vikings catch up to the Lions? Probably not. But I'm kind of okay with that. I'm a big Vikings fan, of course. I want to see my team do well. But this year was not supposed to be a year where the Vikings did insanely well. And they've been giving me lots of fun. Lots to cheer for. So, I think even if the team doesn't... Like, I'm not going to lose any sleep if the team falls apart from here, honestly. So, all right, Margougou's up. 6 fish. Nikov's about to be up with 6 fish as well, so very similar builds. And they're both going to play water. This feels like it's going to be galleys for both. No, I'm originally from Pennsylvania, but I'm a Minnesota Vikings fan. You can blame my brother for that. You can also blame my brother for the fact I fell in love with Age of Empires 2 and all my music choices. Like, basically, who I am as a person is because my brother is 11 years older than me, and I copied everything that older bro did, and older bro has good taste, except for football teams. Because being a Vikings fan has not been a net positive for me. But yeah. That's kind of the full breakdown there. Leo says, I'm the bigger bro here. Feels good. My younger brother did the same. Yeah. Yep. Always copying what big bro did. Even if big bro decided to pick one of the unluckiest franchises in the world to follow. Because my dad got a pen. I'm actually so pissed. Like, where I grew up, guys, there are 2 teams. 3, really. That were really close to where I live. And whether or not you like the sport or not, it's not important. Basically, you should just know that all those teams, if I would have been like any of my friends, they won the thing. They won a Super Bowl. But no, my brother got a pen when he was 8 that had a Viking helmet on it, became a Vikings fan, and then so did I. So Margougou gonna go try and utilize the extra wood from the Dravidians and play towards the land here. And Nikov is going crazy walls and galleys. I mean, yet again here, I think Nikov has maybe, at least so far, it looks like a really good move. Because normally what it is the archers are going to force reactions from the galley player. But to me, this feels like, assuming Nikov gets the walls down, he does need to wall this and does need to wall all this. The archers might not actually get there at a time where they can apply much pressure. I think that Nikov has also correctly guessed that if Margougou is the underdog and Margougou is playing Dravidians with the extra wood, that he might try the archers. Because this is some crazy walling, but I think it does give him that time to mass the galleys. He should complete most of the walls. And even outposting the sides, he'll see the fire galleys coming in. And Nikov will also immediately notice the fire here as well. And Margougou's archers just going to run into walls. Unless there's a hole here. Doesn't look like there is. I think there's a tree we can't see there. T90, do you think ballista elephants and scorpions are overpowered now? I actually like the scorpion change a lot more than I thought I would. I don't think they're overpowered necessarily. I mean, there are some situations where they are, but I think they probably were before. I think ballista elephants are problematic. Like, more problematic than they were before, and were problematic before in some instances already. So. There's the galleys here. Gamer says I added something non-AoE to my 10 times deck playlist. Oh, maybe I misclicked. I'll take a look at that. Guys, Nikov's struggling. Look at this. Nikov has completely forgotten. I think he thinks he clicks these back. Oh my god, Nikov. What in the world? These are also super weak as well. So, to my point, right? The archers might not actually win you. They might not do a ton of damage on land, but they force reactions for the galley player. And so Nikov, even though he's walled, he kind of struggled a little bit here. That's not bad for Margougou at all. Also, Margougou hasn't lost fish. Margougou's fish are fine behind this. Margougou still has control of the hill. Margougou can apply some pressure now. I'm a little surprised Margougou is trying to squeeze in 2 more fishing ships. But I think Margougou will click up at a really solid castle time here and faster than Nikov. Like, look at how weak these galleys are. Flip the scoreboard, please. What is happening? Did I not flip the scoreboard already today? I feel like every 15 minutes, I'm flipping the scoreboard. Maybe I'm doing something wrong here. So, great start for Nikov in the whole series, but this is pretty good for Margougou. Nikov has a lot of work to do right now. I'm probably misclicking stuff. Would make the most sense. Galleys will dive on through. So what? He killed 2 fish, but Margougou added 2 extras. I think that's probably fine. Okay, I've seen this exact scenario before. What Margougou needs to do to secure this game is actually somewhat simple, but very difficult to think about when you're a player who's behind who needs to do damage. Okay? You see an extra layer of walls. You see he's not on gold. You did enough. You go to the middle, and you build a siege workshop. Your army needs to go here, secure the hill, siege. It's so critical. You do that, you control the top of this hill, the middle of this hill. How on earth is Nicov supposed to play without easy access to the wood and the gold? Siege is insane on this map, but what a lot of people do in Margougou's position there is like, they're like, I gotta break in, you know. So let's see if he realizes it. Yeah, this is great for Margougou. This is perfect. Again, I've seen a lot of instances where people just don't get the timings. Their army's out of position. Margougou. Great position now. He gets the extra wood. Huh? I thought it was a siege workshop. He's town centering. Well, that's one way to secure the hill. So he's going to TC the wood. There he goes. Clearly seems like it's part of his plan because he's going to build it with more vills. Maybe Margougou is thinking, why not both? Maybe Margougou will make the siege workshop as well. It's still good. Like, it's still a really good area to secure. Don't get me wrong. And still not a bad position for Margougou. He's got the upgraded ships now with the War Galley tech. Castle Age so much faster than Nikov. If he had ships coming down here. If Margougou sent fires that way, he could kill all the fish. Nikov's got some demos saved up. And Nikov's going to use them. And not the best demos I've ever seen, but that's still really nice for Nikov. He still has a lot of ships. And Nikov did have to go build a stone wall piece here. Margougou killed that vill. And this is where Margougou could use the siege. Nikov's going to do the same. Siege workshop. And I'm feeling really good for Margougou. Oh my god. He can't help himself. He needs to get the relics. My friend. Margougou. You're being way too humble right now. Stop being humble. And build an arrogant siege workshop, please. Things could all fall apart from you in the middle. And Nikov's got a lot of navy looping back around after defending most of his fish. Well played, Nikov. Nikov in this game in the worst position, but he's got siege. And he could maybe claim the hill. And then Margougou's got a lot of stuff up on this hill that could be killed. The TC becomes a target, right? Fire galleys down here. A bit of blocking from Nikov, it seems. I think Margougou lost a fire galley there as well. There it is. Okay. Margougou fans are happy. That's fine. He's got the Vill lead. He's got some navy out. He's going to defend here with a big demo. Boom! Beautiful from Margougou. Nice job. I mean, guys, he's had a great game. And there's a hole here. So he's going to run in. Nikov sees there's a hole. Nikov has to quickly rewall behind. Nikov also going for crossbow now. And there's no siege from Margougou yet. And I feel like the value these crossbows get is going to determine a lot in this game. I feel like these crossbows could potentially distract Margougou. Boom. I mean, now he sees a TC. Dude. Man, like... It's... Oh, man, he loses the monk, too. Like, guys, he added the scorpion for the crossbows, too. Margougou... He had such a nice position. And he got a little too greedy with it, going for the town centers. And now he's got to recover. And now these crossbows... Maybe these crossbows do something. Nikov's got a position now that could maybe work well for him. Margougou does have bodkin and crossbow as well. Nikov's going to see the siege workshop. But this all comes down, in my opinion, to if Margougou holds this exact position. We've seen so many games where the siege war in the middle decides it on this map. And, ooh, that shot from Nicov, though. Oh, man, Margougou almost lost the mangonel. TC's under fire. Now, unfortunately for Margougou, he's firing uphill a lot of the time because he can't get the position. It's not going to make life easy for him. But he's done a nice job. Nikov's still repairing, and no. Margougou. Guys, I literally said just build a siege workshop. Come on. Just build a siege workshop there. Just mangonel push. Don't boom. Okay, he loses the TC. He's still ahead. It may change a little bit if he loses some fish, but he does have this TC. He's being chased down by the crossbows, though. Think of the difference. Like, Nikov has found ways. When Nikov has hit a wall in terms of ideas, he always finds another way to get some damage in. And Margougou has struggled in the same regard. The previous game, it's like Nikov gets a lead. Margougou, he can't find a way back because Nikov gets such a big lead. Like, Nikov would get the winning position and just, bam, done. Game over. Oh my god, Nikov with the crop shot. The crop shot, he clicked the farm. The mangonel was right in the middle of it. This TC killed Margougou. Like, maybe I'm getting ahead of myself. But I see Nikov with momentum right now. And I've seen Nikov with momentum many times. And Nikov with momentum is a madman. Those crossbows have killed 7 vills. He only had like 7 or 8 crossbows. Nikov having to roll through the middle now. Again, it's still all about the siege. Dravidians still have cheap siege. And no! Margougou's crossbows get flattened. This is why I think Nikov... This is why I think Margougou didn't want the aggressive maps in the first 2 games, by the way. This is why his game plan was the boomy maps. Because Nikov's a menace in micro scenarios. Nikov's just insane. He's just insane. It's not even fair. He had the worst position. He's the worst eco. But he simply will not lose a unit. And he is just all over poor Margougou, who's trying his best to just get back into this. But he's just completely rattled. And Margougou had a nice run. 17th seed, would have been happy about that. But Nikov's here to say, even though I'm 16th seed, we are not close. He's got this TC fully surrounded with mangonels. And Margougou is dead, guys. Nikov. Oh. Nikov over here. Hold on. Hold on. Kills it with the crossbow. TC still surrounded. Margougou still having problems. Nikov even with ballistics right now. And Margougou is going to try and use this elephant to save the day. And it might. It might be able to take out 2 mangonels. Actually, hold on. Who lost faith in Margougou? Not me. Not you. Not anybody. Margougou's got this. Boom. Mangonel down. Bam. Done. Easy. All right. He's got 3 mangonels now. He's got 9 fishing ships. He's only lost 31 units. Could be worse. Nikov's economy looking much better in terms of farms. You really just need the hill lockdown. This still just swings based on the siege. In my opinion. But I will say, it's like... it is very disappointing because I have been saying nonstop, like my entire existence the last 3 weeks on this map has just been me saying siege in the middle wins games, right? Like, you guys remember the MBL Veleza game? That was crazy. MBL still lost, but because he went all in siege in the middle, it just changed everything. So there is a little bit, like, if Margougou does not win this game, there's a little bit of disappointment there because he had a really nice position if he just goes siege right away. And his eco lead was invested into an area that he lost. It's like the TC is just such a big problem. Unfortunate. I think Margougou will try and recover in every way. On water. So difficult. I cannot stress enough, because I think most people don't play hybrid maps. So difficult to be focused on 2 different areas of water, your land economy, and then fighting with siege. It's like, especially siege, because in siege wars, it's one shot, one opportunity, right? It's not like knights or crossbows where you can run away and breathe for a second, usually. The fire's chasing here. Nikov's safe down here. Nikov's taking out the siege workshop. Now, with how good Nikov's playing, he's going to somehow notice this. Wait, that's insane! Guys, that's nuts right there. Like, pause. Pause. That's insane to me. He is stabilizing on water and landing a demo. He is microing with crossbows over here. He is producing vills out of both his town centers. Everything's perfect. And he has a second to react. And that's unbelievable. That is just unbelievable. Nikov just continues to impress me with his level. Sure, maybe some questions on could Margougou have added this siege earlier? Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And he's not going to be able to sleep tonight because of it, but that's just still ridiculous. And I love to watch Nikov play, dude. When Nikov is on point, he's one of the best players to watch, man. He does lose the mangonel there. But the relics from Margougou are ejected now. The monk will not make it home. Feels like the big thing now would be stone. Nikov split microing the mangonels. Margougou getting the better of him with the engagement. This could turn around. Margougou. You have to advance up the hill now, my friends. Margougou's down in the south killing some fish. He's got 13 fishing ships keeping him in the game. And it's really a siege that's keeping him in the game. But yeah, the stone is really difficult to get on this map. There's not much of it. There's only 2,800 of it. And the split micro continues. Margougou's advancing. Nikov's attack grounds are so dirty, though. It doesn't even feel fair. The crossbows are sitting here as well. Super awkward for Margougou to advance forward, but I think you just have to. You have to always advance forward. The stone would be here for Nikov. Holy wood. What the? He needs a few lumber camps. Yeah, there's like here there's stone, so he could eventually get to a castle. Siege in the middle. Margougou splitting away. Oh, that shot, though, from Margougou. Decent? No? Yes? Micro is actually ridiculous from both of them. Nikov did lose all of his crossbows while microing here, but he does win the mangonel battle somehow. Look at that eco balance from both of them. I'm not convinced that good mangonel trades can't bring Margougou back into the game. That's what the middle of this has become. Dude, firing uphill hurts him so much here. Like, that would have been a one-shot if he wasn't firing up the hill. It's just, it's painful for me to look at for poor Margougou. I love the guy. He's so talented. This was his hill. These were his relics. This was his land. These were his people. Like, the hill is everything. The hill is everything. Oh. Again, another direct shot that would be a kill if not firing uphill. Another siege workshop from Margougou. Is Imp a possibility here for either? I think Nikov might be intentionally idling to save for Imp. There are fishing ships around for Margougou. You know, the fishing ships are really keeping him in here. Bracer in a crossbow war can change things. I also think Nikov's gold... Well, I guess if he runs out of this... Yeah, maybe he has a problem, but that's still a lot of gold. Just thinking about these golds over here that he can't take. Feels like Nikov has had such a big score for so long. Such a nice position for so long. Hasn't clicked Imp yet. I can't wait to check the military APM after this. I wish I had the numbers to compare to the previous game, because this is just micro insanity. So many weird choke points and dips in elevation that you have to deal with. This is ridiculous, man. No stone income for Margougou. There is some stone income for Nikov. They're still pretty far away from getting to a castle. Another great Mangonel trade there for Nikov. I wish I could see how many siege weapons they both made this game. I really want to know. Feel like Nikov, maybe they've made the same, but Nikov has just kept his units alive. Or maybe Nikov's even made more, because he had the siege workshop so much faster. That would probably make more sense. Margougou's not up yet. He's about to try and click. He does click. He's on his way. Nikov trades a 1-for-1, killing more vills. And Nikov is he's just the better player. But I think when Margougou looked at this draft, I think he recognized how dangerous Nikov was on these types of maps. And so tried to get game number 1, game number 2 to be on maps other than this style. In actuality, Margougou this was the first time in the series he had the winning position. And unfortunately, let it slip. I think optimally, you can drop the TC and gain the eco lead and then grab the siege later. But this isn't Arabia or some map that gives you some space and time to recover. Stranded is a completely different beast. And plus, it's a tournament. So, you know, tournaments, it's like you got the nerves. So I think, at least here, maybe military first could have worked for Margougou. Conversion comes in. Nikov researched redemption. Converts the Mangonel. And the GG's called. A clean sweep for Nikov. Has he lost a game yet, Nikov? I don't think so. Nikov's been really good. Actually, forget. But I think the previous round was against Ozone, who he also 3-0'd. And Margougou will go back to the drawing board, try and look at what could have changed. But honestly, the first 2 games, maybe the first game you think about the TC position for Margougou. The second game, maybe Nikov just outplays him. And then here was a little painful just because I really think, like I talked about it 3 minutes prior. You gain this position, you're in Castle Age faster. Siege, man. Nikov doesn't have any siege yet. Nikov was up so much later. If this is a siege workshop and he's pressuring this hill, I think Margougou wins the game. Even if Nikov's micro is better, I think that you just get the numbers. But Nikov, sick play nonetheless. 24 Mangonels versus 19. So Nikov did produce more, but I think his Mango micro is a little bit better as well. Also, like the APM for military, it's always tough to trust APM. I'm surprised it's not way higher here because it feels like they were just constantly focused on military there. I could barely look at their economies. GG.